All right. Did you start?
Oh, you see the video zooms it in.
Huh?
The video zooms it in, which is why it's weird. Okay.
Zoomed in. No, we got to zoom down.
You can't zoom in or out.
God damn it. All right.
Okay, well, anyway, it's fine.
Okay, here we go. So.
What's happy?
Okay. So here we go. Hello, y'all. Again.
Hi.
I'm Mindy.
And I'm Violetta, a.k.a. V.
And I wanted to do something different.
Yeah.
I talked it over with Miss V, and we decided that a question and answer from adult to kid.
Yeah, so y'all could see a kid's perspective.
Exactly, a kid's point of view. That's very, very true. We need to, we're trying to bridge a gap between the ages. I'm old enough to be your grandma, but but I think this is very important. It's a bridge the gap.
Yeah.
So without further ado, let's start. Are you ready to start these questions and answers?
I want to say a little bit of stuff to my channel because I said this on our bloopers. I'm not, but I don't really do this stuff. I don't really collab, but and also and I usually post funny stuff, but this is going to be a bit more serious than my usual stuff. So without further ado, the show must go on.
Woo! And here we go.
Okay.
So my first question to you, my friend.
Okay.
It's if you could change one thing about life, what would it be and why?
Something I would change is how adults look at kids.
Okay.
Because what I mean by that is how adults take kids' perspective. Like how I think adults should listen to kids more.
And I think I agree. I cannot disagree with that one. I think it's very important that we have communication.
Yeah.
Communication's key with everything. Whether it's mine and your relationship or you and your preacher man. There has to be an open communication of trust, honesty, and respect.
Yes, absolutely.
Bottom line, because, I've worked in nursing homes and I've taken care of the elderly and, I learned a lot from them. Even at my age, I learned a lot. So what about you?
So I take that because, my school... Oh, yeah. Let me get in.
You got to get in here, lady.
All right. Jeez. I'm going to have to edit this later. Okay. Sorry. Anywho, as I was saying, my school, they do listen to kids and stuff, but they only listen to one kid's side.
Right.
And I think, if you gonna talk to, kids and if something happens, you should hear both sides of the story, witnesses, what it who it happened to, and who did it.
Yes, I agree. I totally agree with you on that.
And this is not just about kids, as adults too, they should listen to the witness and who did it and who it was towards.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I understand. It's kind of like there's an old saying. The old saying goes, never judge a book by its cover.
Yeah.
Because it's the contents inside that count. And it's very important that we don't look at a person for their outer shell.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you don't ever know, that might become your best friend. You know what I mean? So I'm totally with that one. Yeah. So, which leads us to my next question for you.
Okay.
So, it's about school life. Okay. And I had to get my eyes on, see? So, what do you think is important for parents to know about school life? Woman, talk to the camera.
Well, I can't get in the camera.
Oh,
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. A little bit of
There you
difficulties.
go.
Keep in mind, we're holding up the phone with a string holder and a microwave.
Hey, but it
Keep that in
works. All right. So, what about school life?
Okay. So something that parents think is school is just about learning. Sometimes most times it is, and other times when you work with somebody, it's how I can't. I'm trying to get in the camera. It's like I keep forgetting about the camera.
Uh-huh. All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, but something that parents think is school is all about learning. Yeah, it is. It's also about getting to know the people in your class and your teachers, because you spend 7 to 8 hours with them every day.
Yes.
And sometimes more if you're like in after-school clubs.
Right. That
So
is very true.
you should know the people around you and, have good relationships with them. That doesn't mean you have to be their friend or anything like that. You just have to be able to talk to them without starting an argument. I know that because I have school
It's
is
because it's a respect thing. You've learned what respect is, and you have to respect your elders.
Yeah.
And I get that too. I totally get that. So, staying on the subject of school.
Oh, okay, Fado, don't start.
What's your favorite subject and why?
I like reading because I like fictional stuff. Let me find a good way to put this. I also like biographies. I like biographies and fictional stuff. I like fictional stuff because it's like magical, And then I like biographies because it's telling me about a person. Like, I don't have to know the person. I just read the biography,
Right. Like famous people.
Famous people, like LeBron James.
But that's not historical, though.
Yeah.
Yes, don't get me wrong. LeBron James is a important person in the world of athletics. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, like, back in my day, okay, we learned about the presidents. We learned about Johnny Appleseed. We learned about, the
Rosa Parks.
Yeah.
Martin Luther.
Yeah, and it's like things like that they don't like to teach you. From what I understand, haven't they taken history out of the school? Do they still teach history?
Yeah, social studies. They do.
But I guess it depends on how far up the ladder that up the ladder.
Fado, please. Sorry.
So
Fado was walking all over that table.
But I was just always curious about that. You have ADHD, don't you?
Yeah.
So do I.
I have anxiety, ADHD, and asthma.
Oh.
Mom thinks his paws hurt.
All right, come here, Shadow. Oh.
Okay. Sorry, we're gonna have to pause really fast.
Why? Don't pause it.
Don't pause it? Okay.
No, I got it. I'll have to check it out while we're...
Nobody's on
This is Shadow, my 30-pounder. My 30-pound cat. All right. So I guess from...
Okay, Shadow.
From what I...
Shadow doesn't want to leave.
Boy.
Oh. Shadow. Okay, chillax.
All right.
All right.
So I guess from what but from what I understand, high school, I don't know. I guess I heard wrong. I thought they were teaching it in school, but I guess it depends on the school.
Yeah. Meadowwoods,
The di-
we do social studies in our books, and we read it. We read about that section, but it isn't really history.
Right.
Some of it is, but others is like learning about. Some stuff is cultural, and then other stuff is like vocabulary, and then what it means.
Right. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting to say the least.
Yeah.
Okay.
I used to do a lot of social studies, but since my teachers are mostly about reading and math, I don't really do a lot of social studies.
Yeah.
I have 2 teachers.
All right. Here's an off the wall for you.
All right.
You got to look in there and tell them this is an important one.
Okay. So let me try and get in this camera too.
Yeah, there you go. Good. There you
perfect.
go. So, my question is for you is, so what do you have to say about stress at a young age?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, stress of a young age is, for example, school can be stressful because in school you have to remember your stuff, especially when you're going to different classes.
Right.
I have 2 classes, as I said earlier. So I start off with my math class. And in my math class, you always have to bring your marker, and you cannot lose the stuff the teacher gives you, or else you have to pay for it automatically. And then
They make you pay for it?
Yeah. And you cannot forget your computer and somebody in the other class. So you have to bring your computer, all your notebooks, and all of that stuff. So you have to bring it to your other class.
Are they that?
They're pretty strict. Yeah.
Damn.
My school is pretty strict.
Wow. Okay. So because your school, you live in Orlando, right?
Yeah.
Right. And so I guess Manatee County schools and Orlando schools are different. Oh, God bless
Kind of.
you.
Not too different though.
Not too different, but I'm sure there's a little bit of differences because you go from your elementary into your middle.
Yeah.
Where we go, to
middle is also the Meadowwoods middle is close to Meadowwoods. What are you? The Meadowwoods middle is like not even 3 miles away from the elementary.
Oh, wow.
And I live with 3 cousins, all boys. 2 of them go to the Meadowwoods middle, and then one of them is going to my school next year.
Okay.
But I won't be there next year because I'll be living here. But
Right.
so them 2, they get out an hour after me. So I have to walk home, or sometimes I walk home, sometimes I ride. If I ride, I go the long way because all my friends go that way, and I get to like walk my friends home because
Right.
I'm like the responsible one. But I'm also.
Does it ever get scary walking home?
No, well, sometimes when it's like, yeah, sometimes.
Kind of
Like if a lot. There's one time that scared me really bad because I was walking home by myself because my dad forgot to pick me up like usual, but I'm not gonna get into that. So I was walking home, and I went around the corner and I saw this van go by. I live with like 3 vans in my neighborhood, but I'm not that worried about it. So I keep walking, and this is my friend's uncle, I think. He has a van. I don't know which van it was though. So I'm walking. I thought it was my friend's uncle, but I'm not sure. So, and then he goes around and comes back again.
Right.
And so that time there was like barely any people because because everybody else leaves like really fast because everybody else has a bike and with a parent and stuff like that.
Right.
So
it's okay. It's just a washer.
That scared me. Okay, so and then I kept walking, and then this was this was this year. So I was walking, and then it goes by again, and that's when it freaked me out. So I just went home, and then I didn't see it after that. But another time that scared me was I was going to me and my cousin were walking together, and when we got home there was nobody there because my grandma and grandpa's a pilot. My dad was working. His dad was working because his dad's also flying around a lot. but he doesn't go very far. He goes to like Miami. My dad was working in the fields, and then my other uncle's in the military. I live with all those people, by the way. Most of them are boys, which drive me crazy. Okay, and then so me and my cousin were walking home. My other cousin was in middle. He's now in 7th. So he was in 6th. So we got home. We went into his room. We went into my cousin's room, which is upstairs. My room is downstairs. Sorry, I talk really fast. But so me and him went into his room and looked at the window, just to see if anybody was about to pull up, because I'm not supposed to be in his room. Because last time I was in it, because when I was little, I like messed up his room really bad. So I wasn't technically allowed in his room with the door closed or home alone, but I was freaked out and I didn't want to like be downstairs by myself. So me and him went upstairs and we were looking at the window to see if anybody was coming, just in case we had to open the door. So we were just sitting there and we looked at the window a little bit, and then the same van that I was talking about goes by.
Mm-hmm.
We think nothing of it because we live 3 vans in our neighborhood, and one of them is a close friend of ours.
Right.
And then, or that one's a family friend, and then the other one was my friend's uncle. So, and then there was one we don't know. So it went by, and we just thought nothing of it. So we played it on we put on the Xbox, and then it goes by again. So we continue playing on the Xbox. It goes a 3rd time, but this time it slows down. So because most of the time the slow vans are my close friend,
Right.
So he was slowed down, but usually when it slows down, since his house is like right across from our house, he usually just slows down to park. But then he went again, so we like called his cousin because they were getting out of school around that time, because they get out at 4 and we got out at 3, so it was around like 3:45. So we called my cousin because by then they're probably like starting dismissal, and you're allowed to have your phone out if it's okay with your teachers. So we called him, and he's on his way, because we called a couple of times. So now he was on his way. So we waited outside for him. Not a good idea, but we waited outside for him, and then we told him what happened, blah blah blah, and then the rest of the day went smooth. Nothing bad happened, except nobody came until like 5. So yeah,
That's crazy.
I live with 3 vans
All right. So
and 8 boys.
I have another question
7
for
boys. What's up?
you. Have you she's talking to Mom.
Anywho, sorry.
So which leads us to our next question.
Okay.
What is it like to be a child of a CODA parent? And for you, those of you who are familiar with that term, CODA means child
of deaf adult.
Correct. So, what's it like?
So my mom is deaf, my dad is deaf, and my baby brother is deaf. My other brother's hearing, and everybody else in my house is hearing. So it's not that bad. But me and my dad's gonna move in by himself, because I'm next year he's moving in by himself, but I'm gonna be with Mom. But it's kind of cool. But sometimes it kind of gets upsetting sometimes, because my dad doesn't go to a lot of my concerts unless he has to drive me, because since he can't hear, he doesn't like going to my concerts because he can't hear.
Right.
So he doesn't go to a lot of my concerts. But it's also cool because my friends know about it, and like my teachers know about it, and my teachers think it's cool. I think it's cool.
Yep.
And I get to teach people who don't know sign language, and I get to teach them sign language, so that later on when they go to college, they can learn that, further, and they know it.
And that's a blessing. That is a blessing.
Yeah.
So, at what age did you learn? Do you remember how old you were?
No.
No.
I've known it almost my whole life, but I do learn like little things as I go on.
So you're a quick learner.
Yeah.
And that makes it just like Spanish. I'm sure that for you, because you can sign, and because, and then you also have been around Spanish speaking
Yeah.
that you can hear and understand Spanish. You just can't speak it back, right? Is that
No.
what it is?
Yeah.
That you understand it.
Yeah.
So do I. I'm that way. I understand it better than I speak it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very, very interesting.
But
I'm glad that you were able to share this, because I think it's important that there are so many kids out there that may not necessarily don't they may not, they're not like you and I am very proud of you, because I know it's not been easy, and it's got to be hard.
Yeah.
And it gets frustrating, especially if someone goes, oh, well, your mom's dead, you can't, or whatever, that's not very nice, and kids are very cruel, to say the least. I know.
Stop midnight.
So
Scratching the back of my chair.
my next question for you then
I want to
is,
say one more thing about being CODA.
okay,
So for those who are CODA, you guys know it's cool knowing sign language, and you're not alone. There's other people who know sign language, and another really cool thing to me is one of my teachers knows sign language, or not one of my teachers, but my teacher last year knew sign language. So we would talk in sign language. So me and her became pretty close. And another cool thing is being CODA, you could since you could sign really fast, you could type really fast.
yes. Now that I've noticed your mom, she'll be sitting there, and I'm like, how in the hell do you type so fast? She goes, when you can't hear, you learn to type. But I found that fascinating, because I can't sit there and.
I'd be in school, and I'd be helping somebody.
Oh, I can imagine.
Since I could sign really fast, I'd be on their computer, because we've been doing essays for the past 2 weeks. So I would type really fast, and they'd be like, oh my God, how do you type so fast?
All right.
And since I don't have a lot, since I can't talk to my parents because I have to sign it, I talk really fast. That's why I also.
You got the gift of gab.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you believe in ghosts and spirits?
Yeah, for sure.
Have you ever seen them?
Yes, I have actually.
Yeah, me too. And I kind of want to just touch on this subject a hair for a couple reasons.
Okay.
My mom told me at a very young age that she would send me to my room about 3 years old, and I would see, and she'd come check on me, and I'd just be sitting, and Mom would go like, Mindy, who are you talking to? And it'd be like, Mom, my friend. And Mom's like, there's nobody there. So I guess for me, I'm a very spiritual person, as you know. I'm very open to a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I think it's important. When a child tells their parents, Mommy, Daddy, Grandma, Grandpa, whatever, I see people, or if they're just talking to somebody, it's a gift.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes
parents don't see that.
No, and I think too, sometimes at a certain age there are children that are blessed.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes, like in my case, I was very young in the middle of a shooting I was 8 years old. Besides my parents' divorce, the shooting, I think, is what made me stop seeing them.
Yeah, as I told you earlier, when my friend's little sister would point out the roof and be like, "Oh, look!"
Yeah, I think it scares adults.
And then, yeah.
If you want to know the truth, I think it scares the adults, because their kids are seeing it, or their animals see things. That makes sense.
Animals see ghosts.
Animals are very smart creatures.
I don't know if I probably have, but when I was little, I was, 7, 8, and I went outside not outside, but went to the living room with my cousins, and I think I've told you this story, because we all shared a room. So me, two cousins and my stepbrother. We went out, like, we looked out, and my step grandma. These were my step cousins and my stepbrother. So my step grandma, she was a shelter. She owned a shelter home, so she had a lot of dogs.
Right.
And one of the dogs were allowed to roam free. All the others had to like stay in the room at night. But there was one that was allowed to walk around,
Right.
and that was the one who would get in fights with all of them. So he gets to go around at night because he has to stay in his room during the day.
Angel number 11.
Oh, 1111.
1111. That's the angel number, babe.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you make a wish. I believe that too. That was confirmation for me that we were meant to do this. That was just a confirmation I had to get you to see. That is amazing. Do you have a connection to animals, do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. To where a dog is loyal. You know, a dog is man's best friend, right?
Because they're loyal.
Correct.
Cats are girls' best friends.
Well, no, they're intuitive. Cats are, remember, I told you that you can call a dog and a dog will come to you.
Yeah.
A cat has their own personality. And
If
believe
a cat
me,
wants
I got
to come,
two
they
of
will.
them.
If a cat wants to come,
But
they'll
yes,
come. But if not,
it's all up to them. But they're more of an intuitive. And remember what I told you too. Only snakes and cats have slit eyes.
Yeah.
They are the guardians of the underworld.
Yeah.
Cats are portals.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I know I'm blessed. Because my cats have been there at times when I really needed them the most.
Like, for example, Coco, come here. Coco, come here. Oh, don't rub your hand. Coco. Yeah, you see, Coco came to me.
Right.
Now, if I called Shadow, come here. Yeah, you see? Nope. She just continued laying there.
Gotta get myself situated. This chair is not exactly the friendliest chair here.
Yeah.
All right. Which brings us to my next question.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right. This one's gonna be interesting. What do you think about kids who bully others?
Well, I have 3 main bullies. I'm not going to say their names, but I have 2 A's and 1 J's.
Okay.
So, 1A has anger issues, and I feel bad for him. I do, because his parents are divorced too, and he has to take care of his little sister.
Mm-hmm.
And his mom is going through a tough time, so he's very charismatic. I wouldn't say charismatic, but he's
animated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other one, I don't know anything about him. And then the third one, his parents are also divorced. And he's been bullied before. So I think like that's made him tough. That's why he bullies. But something about bullies I think bullies bully because of trauma.
High five. I couldn't have said that any better. I believe the same thing, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So, now you also mentioned that you come from, your mom and dad aren't together.
Yeah.
And I'm a child of divorce myself. And I know what it did to me. As a young person at your age, how do you feel?
How do I feel about divorce?
Or about separation in general, not having your mom and your dad?
Well, sometimes it's about... Oh.
It's only midnight.
Hi, Midnight. Yeah, she's been scratching on my thing all day. But, anywho.
Anyway, go ahead. Keep talking.
Okay. Well,
you're up.
Well,
Say what's on your mind.
Well, separation, sometimes it's about the bullying, sometimes it's about, like, the going back and forth. But going back and forth isn't that big of a problem because I like just chilling in the car. So that's not that big of a problem. I think my main issue with the separation is the bullying, because it's one thing that my parents are deaf. It's another thing that they're separated, because I live with my dad most of the time, and I visit on, breaks, as you know. So, most people know about my parents separating, and they like to take that as a way to offend me. For example, I was arguing with one of the A's, and he hits me with, "Oh, well, at least my mom's alive," because they think my mom's dead. She's not. But they know she's not. They just like to tease me. And okay, yeah, my phone just died, so we still have
you
yours,
get
though.
to finish out.
But they like to pick on me for it, and they like to say rude things. I don't really take that as an offense unless like I really miss mom. Then I would probably go and tell the teacher. But if not, I just sit there. I don't really care, because I'm used to that already. I don't really care at this point.
Right.
I just ignore them.
Yeah, it's hard. All right, we're gonna wrap it up, my friend. So, how do you feel about our conversation? And is there any last words?
Yeah. So, I feel like this conversation was needed. I feel like we need to put ourselves out there.
Let everybody see you. They gotta see you.
But I think this conversation was needed, and I think we needed to have this discussion.
Okay.
And my further thoughts on this is, if you're a bully, you know you are. You could just tell. Just chill out. But no, in all seriousness, if you're a bully and you know you're a bully, and it's because of trauma, as I said, that trauma that you have, you did not cause that, and you bullying other people or getting karma on other people, either way, it will not make you happier. You'll feel good while you're doing it, and then after, you're gonna regret it. I know that, because I had this one time where a boy said a rude thing, and then everybody started laughing, and then later that day he got confronted for it, and he was crying because of how bad he felt. But keep in mind, if you're A, or J, I don't take it personally.
All right, y'all, we're going to wrap it up there, but I want to thank you for tuning into our little podcast at the round table with V and me. That rhymes.
That was good.
All right. And my name's Mindy.
And mine is V.
And it's nice, and I can't wait for the next one.
We need to collaborate more. Bye.
Peace out. Bye.